See, I told you, he's not coming out. Welcome. Good to see you again. I feel like I just saw you
I do. We spent
backstage.
a lot of quality time together.
So we're going to get into this Pardon the Interruption thing. But beforehand, I was very surprised yesterday. We had this gift card giveaway.
Sure.
And somehow, in a room full of publishers, I've been led to believe publishing is really difficult. Someone did not find the gift card.
You'd think they'd be clawing each other's eyes out.
Yes, exactly. So I'd like you again to check under your seats. There are now 2 gift cards out in the wild. Okay, we've got a winner there. Any others? Anyone else find maybe in this area? Find yeah, now turn chairs over, pick people up.
What sort of gift card is it, sir? Is it just cash? Is it Amazon? Oh,
Amex. Yeah, cold hard cash. We got a winner. Okay, well, I wasn't totally accurate with that. All right, congratulations. I'm glad we finally got that. So let's get into it, Paul. So I'm just going to give you this topic, and then you're just going to give me a minute riff on it.
And what happens when I get them all right?
There's no right or wrong. There's no answers.
I was hoping for Carl Castle.
You're already down to 52. The ad tech industrial complex. What's your first?
I mean, it ties right into ad blockers. So for us at Gawker Media, we prize user experience above all else. And the users who come to our sites and our properties should get great, engaging content that's meaningful to them. And the ads should complement and service that experience. They shouldn't detract from it. And the rise of ad blockers is clearly a testament to this fact. If we provided people with a great, ideal service, then we like to think that there'd be fewer ad blockers in the world. That's why we're particularly bullish on native and e-commerce.
Okay, nice. And actually, Nick Denton had said that like being ruled by Facebook is better than having to rely on the ad tech complex recently. Okay, publishers as serfs on Facebook's manor.
Ooh, that's a good one. Platforms are great, right? Platforms extend our reach, and we've been experimenting with Facebook Instant Articles for Q1. And we had some early concerns. Is this going to reduce our overall sort of daily visitors? Right? We have 2 kinds of visitors. You got the people who've made you part of their daily habits, and we love those guys. They come back, they're there every morning with their coffee, they're there every day, every lunch, every coffee break, and they comment the most enthusiastically, and they engage the most with our brands and with our sponsors. We love those guys. The people who come in from sort of chumming the water, as it were, with Facebook and other platforms, tend to stay for less time and tend to interact at less depth, but they increase our unique views, so we love that. Facebook's a double-edged sword in that regard. We're happy, it's been net positive for Q1, but I don't know if you've ever seen the Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man, but ultimately we don't know what's going to happen.
Well done. Mobile advertising revenue.
I don't know if you guys check out Mary Meeker's presentation on the state of internet.
Yeah, mobile's eating the world and everything else.
Exactly. It comes out like every May or such, and it's terrific. It's like crack for media nerds. The numbers she provided last year were like 25 billion spent on internet advertising, and 13 billion is spent on mobile advertising across the board. There's a huge gap to close there. People spend more than 50% of their time on their mobile devices. We're experimenting with native and with display to try to get that number up, but it's a challenge we all face.
Okay, still a gap there.
Absolutely.
How much of a gap?
The tiniest, it's a sliver at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. There's a gap.
Okay, millennial publications.
Isn't that what we're all looking for? Right?
Is Gawker now a millennial publication?
Oh, absolutely. We've got a great. No, Gawker is all about strong opinions expressed directly, but that sort of authenticity appeals to millennials who are sort of tired of the sort of generic runaround they get in sort of more traditional media. They love engaging with our properties, and they love the back and forth. When you come to a Gawker property, Jalopnik, Gizmodo, Gawker, any of the above, you have just as much of a voice as the author of the blog post. When you post in the comments, you might be the smartest or the most interesting person involved, and we love that. Millennial publications, they're chasing the advertising dollars, as to some extent we all do.
Okay, so it's just a marketing vehicle. Okay. Medium's business model. I only remember doing this one.
I think we're still trying to figure out what that is, right? Long reads, right? What's the term for long reads? Long reads are don't reads.
Yeah.
We love long reads. They make us look good. I get bored of half of the long reads I read.
Yeah.
That said, Medium beat a lot of others to the punch, including Gawker Media with our Kindle platform, at being the sort of go-to mode for individual expression. Right? If I want to self-publish, I want to be a one-person publisher, Medium is the ideal place to do that.
It's a great place if you have a new job.
Good to know.
Good to publish there. Okay, Snapchat content teams.
So we don't have any Snapchat content teams. I enjoyed listening to Refinery yesterday and Daily Mail about their positive experiences with Snapchat. Snapchat's fascinating in the sense that it hits those millennial readers. And everybody who spoke on the stage yesterday said exactly that. Oh, 18 to 34, those are our guys. They're all up on Snapchat. But nobody talked about how they're wheeling the barrels of money back from, from the will. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. In the case of Snapchat, one thing I'm particularly bullish on is they've created a new form of content. That animated splash image that's vertically oriented before you get to the article is a new mode of expression for journalists. In the same way that we're wrestling with forms of content delivery that aren't necessarily familiar to us, like pure video. In the case of Snapchat, that animated splash is a sort of atomic unit of content in of itself. It's fascinating.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Hulkamania.
Yeah. I'm a huge Hulk Hogan fan. Did you guys see Rocky III? Hulk's performance as Thunder Lips at the beginning of Rocky III in the first 10 minutes is unheralded, and the whole extent Rocky III is it's an unheralded Rocky movie. In the Rocky canon, it's one of the best. Mr. T also has B.A. Baracus.
Yes.
That's on the Atom. Clubber Lang, thank you. Oscar worthy in that case. Gawker Media is doing great. We've been in the news a little bit. We're going to change our tagline to Gawker Media, the place where nothing interesting ever happens. But we're firing on all cylinders. We've got a great first half of the year. First 6 months business-wise looks terrific. Our blogs are doing wonderfully. Gizmodo's at the top of its game. Lifehacker just celebrated its best traffic month in the history of the site. And there was an article on Pando Daily, which doesn't ordinarily give us terrific press, last week, saying, hey, we've got our ear to the ground, and there are no reports of a mass exodus or resumes flying out of Gawker Media. And that's because we're there, we're having fun, we love our jobs, we love our blogs, and we're having a good time.
Okay. Well, Hulk will be a good boss. Okay, future of the banner ad. Sorry.
That's all right. We expect it, right? Future of the banner ad. I think it's all about user experience. In the case of banner ads, it's we've been providing for over decades now a unideal user experience. Right? So they take too long to appear, they're too small, they don't serve the needs of advertisers well. Advertisers complain, they wring their hands. Why can't it be like the old days with magazines where I full bleed luxurious images that feature my photography? And so they try to sort of staple that on to all of our sites with big page overlays and takeovers, all of which detract from the user experience, and then our users rebel. What's more, it takes 3, 4, 5 actual, real seconds. I'm not talking like dainty little milliseconds like internet time, like seconds in tonnage for these things to appear, and that's especially painful on mobile. Something has to be done about it. We're pushing hard into e-commerce, we're pushing hard into native, but at the same time, banners generate a lot of money. We still love them.
Still love them. Autoplay video.
Autoplay video is a great way to goose the numbers. All right? And we'll take it. We don't autoplay the videos on our sites, but we have nothing but respect for the people who do. 3 seconds on Facebook is a small amount of time. Does that actually meaningfully demonstrate a view? The jury's out. But I understand why they do it, and we're all trying to make a buck.
Yay, everyone's got rent to pay. Okay, publishers as tech companies.
Oh, interesting. We were just chatting with.
You guys masqueraded as a tech company for a little while.
Oh, I think we still are a tech company, right? I think we still are. Like the future of media is technology, right? And the history of media is all about artificial bottlenecks, right? It was difficult to produce materials, and it was even more difficult and costly to distribute materials. And that's why when you've got that artificial bottleneck, you can charge a lot of money for ad space. It's great. We were all in on it. It was a good gig. But now, all those barriers are smashed to pieces. And it's up to us as tech companies to get our content, our properties, our assets in front of our readers and our viewers as seamlessly as possible. And if you don't understand the technology and every layer of the technology stack required to do that, then you're doing your business a disservice. You can't just, hey, we just write the stuff. Hey, we just shoot the stuff. I don't know, we'll just bolt on all these faucets that we don't understand that purport to generate money when we turn them on. We'll just turn on all these faucets. The users hate these things, but money's supposed to pour out when we're done.
So Kinja is still important to the future?
Sure, Kinja is the content management system that powers all of our things,
okay.
all of our blogs. We still use it. Our CTO is tremendously talented, and it supports all of our editorial endeavors and all of our native advertising endeavors.
Okay, I think that might be it, but no, blocking the ad blockers.
Oh, I could talk about ad blockers all day.
You only have a minute.
I think you chose this format because you know I'm verbose.
Yeah, well.
In everybody's personal interest. Ad blockers, part of me wants to just sort of ramp it up in sort of a arms race, because it's possible to block these things 6 ways to Sunday and to play that cat and mouse game. Yeah. That doesn't really seem to be practical from what I'm hearing of the other people at this conference. That said, it's not as big a deal for us in the US right now as it seems to be in Europe, from what I heard yesterday. Mm-hmm. We have a fair percentage of people, and it varies from site to site and vertical to vertical, using ad blockers. But I think the onus is on all of us to not just sit back and accept the current state of advertising technology. If we improve the state of advertising technology, users won't need to use ad blockers as much as they do.
Okay, and I believe that is it. Paul, thank
Super.
you very much.
Always a
Appreciate
pleasure.
it, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Great.